Thanks, Admiral. You mentioned that the aid coming through the pier was going to be screened by Israeli authorities. How confident are you that that's not going to cause sort of delays in terms of the aid being held up? And also, if I may, how confident are you that there's not going to be delays at the other end, when at the pier end as well?
Well, look, I mean, it's day one. And as I just said, we've got indications here just before I came on out here that some of that aid was already moving into Gaza. That's pretty impressive for day one, just day one. The inspections are actually happening in Cyprus. And that's a really important component of this modular system that we've constructed here. So the inspections are happening before the ships even leave Cyprus and move on down to the eastern coast. I'm sorry, the eastern med, off the coast of Gaza. So right now, it seems like a very good system in place, but again, it's day one, so we'll take a look and see how it goes.
Inspections being done in tandem with anyone else, such as the United States?
The IDF is responsible for the inspection regime in Cyprus, and as I said, on this first day, it worked well.
On Jake Sullivan's travel this weekend, did the U.S. government receive any assurances from Israel that it wouldn't expand its Rafah operation while he's there?
I'll just say, without getting into our diplomatic conversations, we've said this before, that we're going to continue to talk to the Israelis about alternatives to major ground operations in Rafah. That is not what they're conducting right now. And they have assured us that they are willing to continue to have those discussions with us before they make any major decisions. And I'll leave it at that.
Can you share an update on the American doctors in Gaza who are trying to get out of there, and what your understanding is, what the U.S. government assessment is of the holdup?
There's no holdup. They're out. There was 20 American doctors. 17 are out now. Came out today, and all 17 of this they wanted to leave. I won't speak for the other 3, but I can assure you that any of them that wanted to leave are out now.
And then just finally, you referenced the security plan for the port and the pier. Secretary Austin, a couple of weeks ago, before it was operational, said his understanding was that if U.S. troops were fired upon, that they may fire back. Is that still your understanding of what would happen here?
100%.
Thank you, Korean. Thank you, Admiral. When it comes to those bodies that were recovered, the 3 hostages, what impact does that have on the current ceasefire negotiations? Does it set those talks back?
I don't think we can say that right now. First of all, our focus, and I'm sure our Israeli counterparts' focus too, is on the families who are getting this horrible news. As you know, the talks didn't go anywhere last week. Unfortunately, we just didn't get to a successful conclusion. One of the things that Jake wants to cover when he goes over back to the region is to see what we can do to keep those talks going and get some kind of resolution here. But I don't think it's difficult to see how this grim news today is going to have a major effect on the hostage deal negotiations. We really want to get this done so that we can get 6 weeks of a ceasefire that can maybe lead to something more enduring.
And part of that ceasefire deal is the release of hostages. I know you said you don't know how many Americans are still alive, but is there a broad assessment of how many hostages overall are still alive?
I would refer you to the Israelis for an exact number. I know it's north of 100. I've seen estimates of maybe 130 total. Not all of them. We don't believe all of them are alive. We don't know exactly what the breakdown is.
And of course, Rafah is going to be a big point of discussion when Sullivan is in the region. Can you just talk about the impact that the president's withholding of those 2,000-pound bombs have had on the relationship and Israeli decision-making when it comes to what we're seeing in Rafah right now?
It's not a withholding. Just there was a pause put in place on a shipment of 2,000-pound bombs, and that pause is still in place. I would remind you that other aid, other weapons and capabilities from the United States continues to flow to Israel. They are not left defenseless. And they also have, without getting into specifics, they have inventories of existing, like similar capabilities that they already had available to them. I won't speak to their operations, but I think you can just discern from news coverage alone that they continue to conduct operations in Rafah and elsewhere in Gaza.
So you're saying they already have inventories of the 2,000?
I'm just saying they have existing inventories of capabilities, and more capabilities continue to go. I won't get into the details of that for their own operational security. But I guess I didn't really answer your question, though, on decision making. I think, well, I don't think, we know that they know what our concerns are with respect to Rafah. and how they go into Rafah and what that looks like. And again, Jake's going to go over this weekend and he'll reiterate those same points.